Jai Shri Ram and welcome back to the final part of the story of the final battle in BalaGokul's Ramayana Storyland. In the last episode, we saw the most wonderful and exalted sage Agastya descend from the heavens to help Rama and gave him a very, very sacred mantra called the Aditya Hridaya, a mantra that invokes the power, the spiritual energy from the heart of the sun, the effulgence of Lord Vishnu himself. So let's go straight to it. Enter the Ramayana Storyland and see how, with this power, Rama is going to finally put an end to the very evil Ravana. Are you ready? Let's say the magic words. Jai Siya Ram. Louder. Jai Siya Ram. Loudest. Jai Siya Ram. What do we see? Rama turned towards the sun. He took a few sips of water for purification purposes, and then, just as the wonderful sage Agastya had instructed him, he chanted the Aditya Hridaya. And guess what happened? Something so very magical happened. More magical than the chariot descending, perhaps. Rama felt extreme happiness. His mind became super duper charged. He felt so lively. All that tiredness and fatigue that he felt just disappeared, gone. He felt so revived and he felt ever so ready for the battle. He took up his bow and stood firmly on the chariot, fixing his gaze upon Ravana, who appeared before him. He said, Matali, go ahead, go towards Ravana. He then spoke to Matali. Oh Matali, look how he's charging towards us from left to right. It appears as if he is bound to destroy himself. Therefore, give up any fear that you may have in your heart. Stay focused and drive the chariot as swiftly as you can. You don't need to be instructed me, I know, because you drive the chariot of the Lord of the heavens. I'm just reminding you, Matali. That's it. Matali felt so grateful hearing those words of Rama that he also felt supercharged and steered his chariot as swiftly as he could. Passing the huge chariot of Ravana on the right, the charioteer then parked Rama's chariot right in front of Ravana's. Again, the battle began between the two warriors who were desirous of killing each other. They looked like two proud lions wanting to see each other destroyed. And then, again, something very, very strange began to happen. On Ravana's side, you see, there were some signs that gave out such negative energy. There were horrible winds that blew from left to right. The gods of rains poured blood on Ravana's chariot. There were large flocks of vultures roaming about in the sky. And all of this was happening around Ravana's chariot. And even Lanka was overcast with dusk, and it appeared as if it were blazing. Whereas you see on the other side, on Rama's side, there were such pleasant and auspicious omens. They seemed to be saying the victory is going to be of Rama's. Rama was pleased and considered Ravana already as good as dead. Yet again, a terrible, terrible battle goes on between Ravana and Rama for you know how many days? 7 long days. Yes, Rama and Ravana fight for 7 long days. And it just goes on and on. Both of them sending rains of all kinds of weapons at each other. They fought for hours and hours, exchanging blow for blow. Neither of them felt like giving up. If Ravana sent 20, then 60, and then 100, and then 1,000 arrows at Rama, Rama responded with twice that number, digging shafts into Ravana's steeds and charioteers. Neither of them seemed to have the upper hand. It was a fight that no one, even the gods, had ever seen before. Everyone watched anxiously what was going to happen. Rama remained calm. He took out a razor-headed arrow that resembled a venomous serpent and fired it. That arrow divided into 10 and tore off Ravana's heads. Oh, but guess what? Guess what happened? The heads grew again. So Rama sent another weapon, which again, but guess what? Again, they grew back. And then he used other weapons, but nothing seemed to work. Each time Rama struck Ravana's head, they seemed to grow back. Rama seemed a bit confused. What is happening? These arrows by which I have put an end to Maricha, Khara, Dushana and Vali, why are they not working now? What is happening? What is happening to my arrows? And Rama got absorbed in his thoughts. And now, looking at Rama being lost in his thoughts and confused, help was on its way again. And this time it was from Matali, the charioteer of Indra. He looked at Rama and he spoke. "Oh Rama, why are you pretending like you don't know what to do? You are the Lord of the universe. You know what to do. You know how to put an end to Ravana. Why are you pretending like you don't? I think time has come, Rama. Time has come. And you know what the perfect weapon for this is. You must use that all-powerful weapon that Brahma has gifted you. Come on, it's time for that now, Rama. And the victory is surely going to be yours." Now Rama took hold of a blazing arrow which was given by Brahma, which in turn was given to him by the sage Agastya. And this looked like a hissing serpent. This arrow, I have to tell you about this arrow because it was super special. So in its feathers, it was powered by the wind god, and at the end point of the arrow was powered by the sun and the fire, and it was as heavy as two huge mountains, Mount Meru and Mandara. It was an arrow like no other, an arrow that only could be used by someone as amazing as Rama. This special arrow was better than a thunderbolt. It was loud. Oh yes, it was so loud. Now Rama took that very special arrow, and then he made this arrow super sacred by a very special ritual. He chanted some mantras, and while he fixed the arrow, all beings were frightened and the earth trembled. Stretching his bow well and with a focused mind, he hurled the arrow towards Ravana. That arrow, which was better than the thunderbolt of Indra, then fell upon Ravana's chest. That arrow, which was released with great speed, took away the life of Ravana. Having accomplished its mission, the arrow now magically re-entered its own quiver. The life air from Ravana departed, and he fell down from the chariot to the ground. All the Rakshasas who had survived were panic struck and ran to all sides, whereas the Vanara army celebrated. Everyone screamed, "Jai Shri Ram! Jai Shri Ram!" And thus ended the fierce battle between Rama and Ravana. If and if only Ravana had heeded the advice of so many people who'd asked him to choose the right path. If and if Ravana had taken the advice of those people, this wouldn't have been his fate. Rama gave him so many chances to correct his mistakes and give Sita back. But Ravana, unfortunately, with his intelligence overpowered by greed and desire and revenge, didn't quite choose the right path and sadly had to face this end. So did you like the story of the final battle? It was so exciting and thrilling, wasn't it? I absolutely enjoyed sharing this with you, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Come back to the Ramayana Storyland for more amazing stories. Stories about people from Rama's army. Stories about Vibhishna, Sugriva, Hanuman. Come back and join me in the next episode for yet another amazing story. See you there. Jai Shri Ram!